You are listening to The Ben Keech Show, where every day the objective is simple. Ben will never stop fighting the fight and lighting the light on topics that affect you every day.
Welcome everybody to this episode. It's kind of like a late night after dark episode. They have like Cinemax for these. We're gonna, you can say this with a straight face, but we're gonna have to like really get up for this episode, folks. We are gonna be
no pun intended.
So thankful.
That's exactly what's
Horrible. Folks, we're gonna talk about sex.
I'm gonna shut up,
because
I'm
like
sorry.
people that date have sex. Like sometimes not everybody's virgins when they date. So for all the people that date and they're not virgins, that means they sometimes have sex. So there's like experiences that they have and like the ups and downs. And anyway, we're going to refocus. My name is Ben. This is the Ben Keech Show, and I have guests. And these guests we're going to talk about interesting things. So tune in, give us comments, subscribe if you can, because it's kind of nice if you do. And we're going to talk about just how we navigate through. Not literally through sex, but through our experiences in dating. I'm going to stop talking and just introduce people. To my right, I have Drenda. Just for the record, we have all had sex. I'm sorry that my kids are listening right now and they just got completely gross. There's no virgins in this episode. There was one that tried and we were like, no, you just, there's a place for you next door. It's not here. We have Steven, yes. We have Alicia. So let's get serious for just 1 second as much as we possibly can. So I'm going to let you guys decide who wants to answer this first question. So,
we just know
it's always the guy.
Yeah,
it's always the guy.
They like when we initiate.
You know what? I'll make up an answer if I don't know what it is.
All right. So the question is this. So in dating, let's say like you've had like your first date. Okay, so just in general in dating, what are the expectations that people have for when sex could happen in a dating scenario? Is there a number? Is there like something that people feel like when is sex okay in a dating situation? And they nominated you, Stevens.
All right, I'll answer that. So the more that I'm into the girl, the longer I'll wait.
Oh.
Hands down.
Okay, keep talking. Keep going.
If I'm really into a girl and she's got this rule where it's like a 90-day thing, okay,
Yeah.
cool. We can have fun and not,
Right. Right.
I'm okay with that. But if I'm not really that into you, it better not be 90 days,
So
I'm just saying.
So we need
It better be like 5 days. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying. It's
I feel like this.
But if you're not into her, why are you wasting the time?
Because sex isn't a waste.
Well,
she wants to get laid.
So that goes back to defining dating. You've got two people. You've got the ones that's your life person,
I get
and
it.
then the one that you're just wasting time on.
Okay.
If I'm wasting time, I might as well be getting some sex.
Okay.
Right?
I had to ask.
So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
understand.
So I think that this needs to be said clearer for all the females listening, because you literally just told them like way valuable information.
I know, I'm awful. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm going to get kicked out of the guy union. I just know it.
No, you are actually.
I'm in trouble. I'm so much trouble.
Let's
just delete this now and start over. Let's just start over. I'm sorry. I'm lying.
I knew I shouldn't have let
Yeah. But hold on. But that is all information is valuable. Maybe women should know that.
They should.
Agreed.
It's 100% true.
And
do you feel the same way?
Maybe if they know that, then healthier relationships will come about.
Because I don't know how many guys adhere to what you said. I agree 100%. But I don't think that that's how all guys operate.
No, it's not.
Or if you're in that place, then you know where you stand.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that bad towards you. I mean that towards other guys, because
I was picking on you.
And I have come across guys who are like, oh, come over. And I've never met him before in my life. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but would you want your mother or your daughter or your sister to come over to a guy's house before they met them? Like,
Right.
Would that make you feel good? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, honestly.
But
And it's annoying. I will say no, thank you.
Right. It makes sense in the sense that you know
respect.
why.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
It's clear as day.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's respect. Like, I'm sorry, I want more, and I told you that in the beginning, so I'm not going to give it up right away. Sorry.
Yeah, at least buy you dinner. Shit.
Right?
You know, buy you some flowers or something. Goddamn.
It is definitely true that if a guy likes someone, then how soon sex happens really doesn't mean that. Doesn't matter
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
Any as a matter of fact, I think that a man who pressures at all for sex is he's already off. Like there's no reason to ever. I mean, there's the natural reasons too, but you're already missing the boat if that's the way you're looking at it, in my opinion. So, but I mean, sex is like fun, right? I mean, it's like supposed to be good, like most of the time, like I mean, it should be. So
That's the
we
key phrase.
evaluate
Should be.
for all participants. We evaluate what we want, what we think it is, and so then I'll ask this question: Is it wrong, or is there something off with having sex in a situation that's not going to be a relationship, but it's a win-win for both? Should you avoid that situation? Is there something wrong about that, or how do you evaluate that? No relationship, but maybe there could be. It's possible, let's say. But like, let's just have sex because it's fun and whatever happens, happens.
Drenda, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has an individual, they're at different stages of their life, and they have their own journey ahead of them, really. So each person comes to the table evaluating what their need is at that point in time in their life, so it could change because not, how we were 10 years ago or even in our 20s is not how we were in our 30s and our 40s, and now I'm in my 50s, So, as we grow, as we, learn, sex it's an intimate exchange with two people. It brings drama to the situationship, or if we want to keep it at a purely pleasure level. If two people are going to do that, they need to make sure that they're on the same page and that they have the boundaries defined as to this is, an agreement, I guess. And,
what would be those
that works for some people, but it doesn't for others. And, but everybody individually has to assess that, what they want at the time, I guess.
Friends with benefits.
And,
so what are boundaries within? What are those boundaries?
So, like, if friends with benefits, you just got to make sure each participant understands it. Like
I mean, really, two people have to agree to the same status.
Yeah.
No matter what that status is.
And I feel like sometimes it's all
the
communication.
statuses these days seem to be, a range of things leading up to marriage, right? But some of those statuses, friends with benefits, situationships, affairs while being married. I mean, all these extra pleasure-based statuses are really not going to end well. And we all know this, right? So it's a matter of, have we grown out of that stage in our life and evolved?
Yeah.
Or are we still stuck in this cyclical pattern? Cyclical pattern of, I don't want to commit, but I want the pleasure. I don't want to commit, but I want the pleasure. I want to talk to 5 people, and I want to have sex with whoever I want. I don't want commitment. It's too much to ask from me. I want to be able to do whatever I want, basically. And you know what? You can do that. You can do that all day long if that's how you choose to be. Just make sure you're letting whoever wants to engage with you, just make sure you're upfront and honest. And in fact, I did. I went on a date, second date with somebody, and he told me, we started talking, we really liked each other, and he was honest with me and told me that he had 4 friends with benefits at the current time.
Wow.
I said, you know what?
Right?
Let me give you a hug.
Right.
Thank you for being honest. I don't want to be number 5.
Right.
I just don't.
Absolutely.
But you know what? You're a great guy and you're super cute and we have fun, so let's pal up and go shoot pool. I don't have a problem with that because you know what? We connected and had that friendship bond, And you can have those types of friendships and connections with people, but once I found out that that's what he was into, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm
Absolutely
not
agree.
looking for that, but you know what? That's okay. We have
Yep,
other
sure.
things in common, and now we can explore that friendship.
I don't share.
So
Why would he even admit that?
I was thankful. I mean,
I'm
he's
sure.
cute.
I would
I mean,
rather-
he's cute. I totally.
I would
Oh,
rather-
I'm keeping
get
that
it.
to my grave. Hell no, baby.
He
You're
was
my,
honest.
you're my first
He was
one.
honest. We're still friends to this day. To this day.
That's cool.
We're
I'm
still
saving
friends.
myself for you, I promise.
But because he was honest and because he was
It's
open with how he wants to live his life, who does he care what people think, right? He wants to have 4 friends with benefits.
Mhm.
He's going to have 4 friends with benefits. You know, say it proud and loud. Do your thing. But you know what? Thank you for being honest, because I don't want to be number 5.
do you think that all 4 of them knew they were 1, 2, 3, 4?
Pretty much. From the stories he told me, yes.
Interesting.
He
There
sounds like
was
a
a
bragger.
range, you know? I mean, there's
I
a
bet you he
range.
did.
I feel like
There was an age range, and there's, you know, different friendship. I mean, you got 4 people. I mean, you know, pick anybody off the street. You're gonna have different ages, you know,
Sure.
backgrounds. I mean, but yeah, 4. I mean,
So then what do you guys think about this scenario? So you have somebody that wants to be friends with benefits, but they want to be the only friend. So do you
and
have
that's a situationship, right?
Oh.
That sounds like
That's
that sounds
a
like
different
girl.
status
Sounds like
now.
girl logic.
That's a different status. I don't know. We need a different. Where's a
Like a
chalkboard?
girl came up
We
with
need a
those.
chalkboard next time, Ben.
I feel like friends with benefits and a situationship is like the same thing, because aren't
Yes,
you friends?
I agree.
Friends are friends, right? What's the difference?
Yeah.
between-
So all right, so the difference with me is friends with benefits is friends is plural. Situationship is it's like exclusive, but you're not putting a title on it.
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
thinking the opposite.
Friends with benefits is like it's the Wild West. You just kind of do whatever you
You
want.
do. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
That, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
that's
thinking
how I
the same
that's how I
And
interpret
the other-
that.
and then
The Wild
The
West.
situationship,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a more an exclusive thing, but you're not putting a title. You're not putting
You're not saying
the
that's what
relationship title
that's
on
how,
it.
That's how I would have.
Yeah.
So in a situationship, if you have then a friend, a Wild West girl on the side.
So I'm going to tell you right now, in a situationship, one of the two is lying. Promise. About being exclusive. I promise that.
Because
Otherwise,
it's
you'd
not
be in a
exclusive.
relationship.
It's
not
not. And that's what I'm saying. So that's back to my point, where that's just unhealthy cycles of dishonesty, lack of
Just got
trust.
to be a good liar.
You know, just it's unhealthy. I mean, at some point,
It does all
we
end
should,
bad.
you know,
Why does it all end
if
bad?
you, I don't know. I mean, I
It
don't
does.
know. Maybe people enjoy that type of a lifestyle, and it's okay. But to me, there has to be something that's not healed in them that's causing them to do that. That they should probably look deeper. I mean, that's not healthy to have 4 people that you were sexually active with
I agree.
and not committing to. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. In my opinion,
It's confusing.
I mean, maybe
It's confusing.
It is
It's
confusing.
like sister wives. Oh
Yeah.
wait.
I don't
that's
know.
another show.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
From
again,
a,
again, you know what? No disrespect, because you know, again, every person has their own lifestyle and their own journey.
That doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's right.
But you know
Right.
what? Right for who? It's right for them. Whatever it was. I mean, if they want to live that way, I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's not for me,
Mhm.
and I choose to live my life differently because that's not healthy for
Maybe
me.
it's-
I'm not at peace in my soul if I were to do that. I would be a mess.
Yeah.
I would too.
Because I would
Yes.
I would feel like I was disrespecting my soul and who I am.
But
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna like challenge you just a little bit in this. So I agree with you on everything you said, but
all the zingers come my way. What the hell?
Yeah.
no, whoever. But
I'll answer. I'll answer.
if somebody has the capability of having like multiple friends with benefits, whatever that is, and you're saying that for your soul there's something that it makes you uneasy, if you can do it, we'll say, Alicia, how will you answer this? If you can do this, I know you're welcome. I'm skipping over. But if you have peace about it, does it mean there's something wrong with you? If you can,
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a
That's
good
deep.
question. I think it just depends on the person.
But why?
Because
I want everybody to be more judgmental. That's my goal. Be more judgmental.
in my opinion, no. I agree. Honestly, I agree with Drenda.
Okay.
Sorry, did I
You
say
got
that
it.
right? Okay.
Not Brenda's second, Drenda's this time.
There we go.
Yeah.
Because I can't share. Like, I'm exclusive with one person, and
Okay.
I'm all about that. I
Right.
can't.
Okay.
But I just feel like if somebody's, it's not help. I can't add any more to what
So
she
you're
has
saying,
already
but
said.
then you're saying all of these things, but why does it only pertain to you? Why does it not pertain to other people? Why we talk about all the time.
Right.
That's unhealthy. That's healthy. That's your wounds. That's this. We talk
Right.
about all of these like either or situations, but why not say that someone that is capable of being in friends and benefits with multiple people is disconnected to it to an extent? Why is that not unhealthy? Even if it's not you, like why can we not attach that to somebody? And why do we? Because then, and with your logic, then we're saying that whatever people decide is okay for them is just okay.
Why should I be judgmental towards somebody else that has that choice, that makes that choice?
Why can we not be judgmental toward the action? Maybe not the person.
Okay.
Maybe not the person directly, but
That
just
makes
in
sense.
a philosophical sense. Why can we not say that? I think there's something going on there. There's a wound. There's a past thing. Like you're disconnected from your soul. You said your soul. Like we're talking like these big like connective things. Like I don't know.
So I feel like if for instance one guy is friends with benefits with
Maybe
4
it's
girls,
friends, right?
yeah, I feel like one of those girls probably has more feelings than she wants to admit to him,
For sure.
and she's scared that if she does, obviously he's gonna say, okay, I'm done,
Right.
I'm moving on to another one. And that's not, I mean, that honestly, that would be me. Because I tend to catch feelings quick. That's why I take my time.
Right.
After sex, I'm like, okay. That's where I am. That's the way
Yeah.
I've always been.
No.
If I have sex, I'm going to be, let's figure this out and let's work on it if you really, because you took the time to be intimate with me. So.
All 2 minutes, right?
Oh, is that long? No, I'm joking.
Give or take. Give or take.
No, that's how I feel. That's what I think. I understand what you're saying. It is unhealthy in my opinion, but I'm not gonna tell you're being unhealthy because you're fucking with other people's emotions.
But if I was your son, you might. Or if I was considering...
I would. If it was my son, I would definitely say something.
I guess I'm just saying that there's places where we might call it out. There's places where we don't. We don't always have standing to do this. But I just still kind of have this feeling that like not all behaviors, because we choose to do them, are right for each individual. Like I still think like there needs like a little bit of judgment, like a little bit, hey, is that really the right thing you're doing? Is that really right for you?
So is it okay for us to hold that person accountable for our opinions?
Wait, say that again?
I don't know if I said it right. Is it okay for us to hold that person accountable because that's our opinion? Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Is your opinion accurate?
For me, yes.
Why do you have to say for me? Okay, I'll then ask this question, a general question.
It really depends on, again, the individual.
Are there times where it doesn't depend on the individual?
No.
There's never any like superseding.
It's
like,
my journey. I call the shots. You know what I mean?
Literally.
I call the shots. Again,
Yep.
I'm not looking for anybody's validation on
Yep.
whether they agree with what I'm doing is right. I shouldn't be looking for any external validation from anybody else. I should be looking to me and saying, what's best for me? How am I the best Drenda that can come forward each and every day for my friends and family and my work? And my animals. What's going to make me the most peaceful person? Does that, you know what I mean? And if he is able to live that healthy life and have 4 women who he has sex with and probably has a relationship at some different levels, whatever,
Right.
that's on
Yes.
them.
Yep.
It's none of my business. Again, back to the dating with him, chose to put the boundary up and say, you know what? I'm
It's
not
not for
going to
me.
judge you for living your life like that. That's kind of nasty to me. That's gross. And you know what? You need to think about that. But whatever. You do you.
But that's not for
I'm
me.
going to
Yeah.
do me
Yep.
because I can't. I haven't. I'm just meeting you. I don't even know you. Frankly, if I don't see you next tomorrow, it's not going to make a difference in my life.
Right.
So, really, we're at the high level stage here. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to judge him. He will, in time, realize through his own heartaches with his own cycles if that's a benefit to him. And if it gets to the point where he's sick and tired of his cycles and the drama that comes with all that, then you know what? He'll get tired of it and maybe he'll settle down. And you know what? But that's on him. If he chooses not to, is his life peaceful? Probably not. But does he like to live that way? That's on him. As long as he's not hurting me, and as long as he respects my boundary, saying, hey, let's just keep it pals now, and I'll meet you at a concert. You're a funny guy, you're highly educated, and we're in the same profession. Of course, you know what? We'll network and we'll be pals. But you know what? I draw the boundary now because personally, this is where I stand. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not judging you.
You're not judging.
I'm moving on.
But I'm judging in this sense. If there's 5 females that are part of this conversation, you and 4 others, and there's him, and I'm saying, and I'm objectively meeting these people, who is the healthiest? It's you. You are healthier than all of those people because you are setting a boundary. I guarantee you.
Boundaries help people to be healthy. I mean,
Protect
to
themselves.
protect your own safety.
And
You got to protect
Guarding your
number
own
one.
heart.
Ain't nobody, you have to protect yourself.
I promise you that if all 4 of those women knew that he had 4 friends with benefits, and they were 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, she's definitely 4 of 4, and including him, you're the healthiest. Anybody that signs up for that has something going on.
Yeah.
Even if it's their choice, they feel like, and for them they may say, look, this dude's just a boy toy. I got this guy over here I like.
Exactly.
This is my Friday night fun.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
Everybody has their own story. I mean, maybe there's a widower out there who was married for 60 years and she just wants a companion. I'm not going to fault her for her journey.
No.
I'm not going to judge anybody for their journey because we all have our own, we're not the same people we were in our 20s, 30s, 40s, and here we are in our 50s. So the golden years. But at the same time, we want to maintain our own self-respect.
Right.
And be the healthiest version that we can present to the world on the daily to make a difference.
No, I agree.
To live peacefully.
I think maybe I guess at the end of the day, it comes down to honesty. If everybody's being honest,
Exactly.
and he was honest,
Yes.
so I give him all the kudos
Appreciate
for that. Then at least
Yeah.
I can make a choice knowing that I'm dealing in truth and
Yes.
not dealing in
And that's
Who
the
does
safety and the security that I received from him is the honesty of telling me up front. Like, I wouldn't want to get involved with that, and he provided that safety, that communication to me.
Good.
Men who
Yes.
that aren't honest, who put that mask on and aren't being honest with you, like, you really don't mean shit to me. I
What's
just
your
want to
point of
mess
it
with you.
for?
No, I'm just
I
saying.
didn't say shit.
No,
I haven't talked for like 10 minutes.
Like you say, like the men that just want to have sex because they really don't care about the girl. Like, if they would be honest about
That's
that.
terrible.
Well, she's not like a long termer, so you
Yeah,
don't
that's
care.
terrible.
The sex.
Oh, I still
like
care.
I said, that's how men operate. So
I still
that's
care.
fine that they're that way, but just be honest about it
Yes.
so that the woman on the receiving end knows exactly what she's getting in for, and she can make that decision on her own. What she wants at that time in her life. I mean, it could be different for different women at different stages of their life, so, but as long as men can communicate
Yeah, you
and
gotta at
be
least
honest, that's the safety and security that we need in the dating world, is to be able to trust that you're being honest with us.
Okay.
What are your true intentions? Be honest and let me know now. Let's not waste time. We're all old. We don't have time to waste.
Right.
Let us just be who we are and say what we want in our life, and let us just be open and honest. And if you want to friends with benefits, I'm not your one.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But thank you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Moving on.
Mhm.
Next one. Do
Absolutely.
we have compatibility? Okay, now we're back to gathering data. right?
I have a strong
Investigating
I have a
others. Now that I know that, I'm moving on.
I have a strong assumption that all 4 of those girls didn't think they were one of 4. I just have
I think he's pretty straightforward. He don't care. And you know,
That's-
I have a feeling at least one of them doesn't.
maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. And
So-
you know what? Not my business. Not our business, Ben.
Right.
Not our
He
business.
answered
Stay in
your
your lane.
question.
Ben.
I don't know what my lane is. So
But
Steve,
you're right. You know, I mean, who knows? I just know he was honest with me, and I was thankful for that.
So let me ask you, here's a scenario for you, Stephen.
All right.
So you meet a girl,
Okay.
you're like, okay, cool,
You meet
whatever.
girls?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're single too.
So this one happens to be single.
All right.
All
Cool.
right. Go on
That's
a date.
easier.
Simple.
Okay.
Go on a second date.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe give her a kiss goodbye.
Sure,
What's
yeah.
good, right?
Give her some tongue. Why not?
Plus, and then and there's a lot of communication going on. So
Mhm.
you're on a third date, all these things. So you're like, you're like 10% sure. 10% of you would be in a relationship with her. 90% is no. You're
Okay.
like still not whole, like maybe possible,
Okay.
but you like hanging out with her. Okay.
Okay.
So date 3, date 4, we'll say in that range. You know, because we know these things. You know she's willing to have sex. Yes. Yeah, you can go into my apartment. I'll make you dinner. She wants to have sex. Okay, so whatever happens, you know that. But you're like 10%. It's gonna be for her. She's like hoping it's gonna be. Do you have sex with? So, what having sex with
Yes.
her? What's coming with that? In that scenario that I created, which is a very common dating scenario in terms of just how all this stuff works. How do you invite her over, you're making her dinner, date 3, date 4, cool girl, fun, like you hang out.
I
with her.
feel like, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for the male population, but for me, in that situation, I'm okay with not having sex with her coming over. So if it was to happen, she would have to maybe not like fully initiate it, but like something. I'm like, okay, let's do this, and maybe I'll change my mind as far as the
Yeah.
10%, 90%.
Like if she's
After
good at
sex.
that.
Like, well, yeah, maybe it's just
She
like
jumps to
maybe
15.
it's just like some really
Jumps to 15.
maybe it's just really awesome, and I'm like, okay, I'll put up with your craziness because damn. So but she would have to initiate it for me to even
So what does initiate look like then for you? How do you know that?
like if she
Yeah.
freaking goes for
Oh.
it, just like hey,
Oh, as women do.
yeah.
That's
Well,
Gotcha.
in my Playboy fantasies, that's
Right.
what's going on, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Interesting. So
So
She'd have to initiate
Okay, so
something.
do you prefer a woman to initiate?
No, not normally. But I'm
Okay.
saying in that situation where I'm like 10% interested, if anything is going to happen beyond just coming over for dinner and stuff, yeah, she would have to.
well, I can tell you.
She'd have to do something.
Here's what's gonna happen. She's coming over dinner. I'm like, okay. Let's just say I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. Like we
Mhm.
have sex, whatever. I'd say you have no idea. I mean, if she any female that goes to a guy's house or invites a guy to her house,
Mhm.
it's 100% on the table in her mind. She
Sure.
may not want to admit it because she wants to be in this world where, like, I don't know, like, because she's an ocean. Her emotions, she's here, she's there. You don't know where. I mean, he may say something stupid. She's like, I'm out. Like, she's like, I got them or 911 call. I got to get out of here. I mean, if you kiss her.
All right, so hold on. I'm going to
That's
stop
all
you.
it's.
You've got 2 girls here. You need to ask them that. If they invite a guy over
Tell
or
me.
they go over to a guy's house,
They know they're having sex.
or do they know they're having sex?
Say you don't, I don't believe you. Okay, but so tell.
Is
tell
that
me-
the rule, ladies?
3rd or 4th date? I don't know.
No, we're not counting dates. We're saying if you're going over to where he lives, or you invite him over to where you live.
With no children around.
Yeah, no kids around to cock block anything. Are y'all having sex? No matter how many dates. I bet you they're going to say no. So
If you
we're
say-
thinking different.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean,
See, so
movies,
you can't use that
dinners.
there.
I mean, I guess if a woman wanted sex, then yeah, that's right there. That's an option. It's an option. You have the time, you have the space, you have the
Right.
freedom to be able to do that. But that's
You know,
not,
maybe some heavy
that's not-
petting, but
So all right. So then the question.
to
is.
me, it's all about the level of intimacy I'm gonna have with somebody. All depends on the moment and
Yes.
the vibe.
I agree.
Like if you come in
Yeah.
the door for dinner and this is date number 3
Mhm.
and you're expecting to have sex, well, guess what?
Done.
right.
Done.
You're not getting it. You know what I
Done.
mean?
No, I agree.
Absolutely not. When it's an expectation and you can see that that's the whole reason why
Yes.
they came over. You know what?
Agreed.
No,
I agree.
No, you got the wrong gal.
You don't get to do
Yeah,
that.
so that's what is in my brain. Is I know I'm gonna have to deal with this issue. So let me prepare myself
Yeah.
now
Right.
for
Yeah.
when the situation comes up. Because you're right, it will be inevitable. But no, that's not something that. You're right. I know I'm gonna have to manage it.
Yeah, you're opening up the door for that, but everybody knows that there is a possibility. But so then a man then who steps on his own toes, who like whatever, it's like, yeah, this is definitely 100% not happening. Like
Yeah.
any
It's not
time,
happening for me in general. So I mean,
Right.
right?
I mean, it's
but-
just not on the table for me. And I think men think that a lot of women just expect that or want the same thing, but it's not true. It's just not true.
Wait,
Why
what's,
can't we
what's
go to
not
each
true?
other's houses and not have sex? What's wrong with that? Jesus,
Right.
good Lord. Third date? Why can't we hang out at a house and, smoke some weed and not have sex? What's wrong with this?
I mean,
And not even have it be a thing, because again, we're taking our time.
Mhm.
We're gathering information.
We're
How are you
gathering
gonna act in my
data.
house? Are you gonna disrespect me and leave your shit all around, and you're gonna leave the toilet seat up, or you know what I mean? Like, this is my house.
Probably.
How are you gonna treat me? How are you
No.
gonna act in my house? That's number one. So there's so
No.
much more that's going into this coming to the houses, or should be, if it's not, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree with you, like in some
Because if you're
level.
going to disrespect my house, you're going to disrespect me in time. You may not show me that tonight. You're going to put on your best face because you want to get some sex. But at the end of the day, we see
Seems
through
like,
you.
yep.
And we see through you, and it's a matter of whether we want it or not.
Hey, the nicest,
You know
the
what I'm
nicest a
saying?
guy will ever be is if he's trying to have sex with you. That's the nicest a guy will ever be.
Oh my gosh,
Agreed.
yes.
100%.
Right. Right.
100%.
I mean, there's, yeah.
I've got manners,
Wow.
but that's
I
when
mean-
you'll see them.
I mean, I just think that if, in my opinion, if a woman goes to a man's house or a man goes to her house, at bare minimum, it's on the table. It's on the table. So,
Should it be?
I mean, is it wrong that it is?
It's not wrong that it's not, but why is it the main focus? It
I
tends to be the main
I
focus.
didn't say that it was the main. If it's the main focus, you're probably gonna get
It
found out.
tends to be the main focus. If
Oh,
you're going to the girl's house,
Hold on. I'll
you're
put it
kinda
like
hoping,
this.
You're
If-
kind of hoping to get some sex.
if you're comfortable enough with somebody to go to their house, then somebody's going to think
Mhm.
that something's evolved enough where something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is that?
They feel safe with that person.
I'm just saying, like, because that's typically like first dates never happen at someone's place. So for you to get to that point, then you're thinking, then you're.
I think so.
All right, for the most part.
I mean, you can do
For
the
the-
drive-by
for-
if you
for the-
want.
for the
you know,
most
you
part-
can order it up on Hinge.
For the
Yeah,
most
or-
part, a first meetup, you're not, you don't know where anyone lives. So when you get comfortable to the point where you're going to their house, I can understand how someone would think, okay, this has progressed to this level.
They at least have a trust.
Yeah, they're thinking this is at least
So
a
it-
possibility.
So it really, again, depends on the person and
Right.
who they are.
Is it a
and
guaranteed
what they-
thing? No. Is
You
it
know
a
what I mean? By
possibility?
this time, you should
Sure.
probably know. Because women, again, should be honest up front. And I always tell men first date, I'm not into casual sex.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you're looking for that, then you know what?
Two
Let's
checks,
go ahead and
please.
end
Two
this
checks.
now.
That's when
Nice
you wear
to
your
meet
tux,
you.
and then
You
it's
know,
not casual.
I've had men sit at a bar. We met at Firebirds, on a date, just an initial meet and greet. 15 minutes in, he's screaming at me because I'm not into casual sex, and I've now wasted his time driving from Overland Park to Lee Summit to have a date with me at Firebirds, just a happy hour. And he yelled at me. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Wow, I wasted your time, and I should have known what you wanted by coming here.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I'm done. Whatever.
Right.
So again, women, just as much as men, come to the table telling everybody how you are, what phase of your life you're in, what you're looking for now. And that'll cut a lot of issues and drama. You know, if you want to have friends with benefits, just say that. You know, that's on you. But again, the women, if you're going to their house, you should probably know before that date 3 when you come to their house who they are as a woman.
Yeah.
Have you already experienced a lot of touchy, feely, kissy out and about? Then date 3, you're coming. Yeah, I would say yes. The vibe is pretty appropriate at that level. You're pretty sure you're getting laid that night, right? Yeah. If you play your cards right, which you will, right? Mission accomplished for both of you, whatever. Or other scenario, women coming to the table and being honest. If you're on date 1 and 2 out and about and you have these conversations to cut to the chase, we're all grown here. We don't have time to waste. You should know on date 1 and 2 whether it would be appropriate to expect that on date 3 in her house at that time. And if you don't, then maybe you guys should start meeting out and about more. But again, if you figure out you just both want to have sex, then go do it. You're grown adults, consenting, have at it. You know, whatever, that's on you. But I mean, but the expectation, we should have better dialogue leading into the home encounter. So that both people don't come in with assumptions and you know, it would just help cut probably things from happening. Alcohol and, you know, drugs and alcohol get involved and traumas can happen, and, you know, that's a whole road we don't want to go down. So you know what, more better communication up front when you're out and about or on the phone talking, getting to know each other, people.
Do you think females use sex to attempt to pull them into some level, even of a friends with benefits, to pull them into a commitment?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, men and women both will be manipulative if they're trying to get something they want.
Yes.
That's I mean, if they're coming from an unhealed place in their heart, and they're just out for selfish reasons, and they're going to be manipulative and twist the fact, you know, and not be honest and present something that's false and mislead, confuse women by saying one thing but then acting another way. These are all things that are a problem and are unhealthy. And they need to be talked about. So women or men, whoever in the relationship is being manipulative and not being honest, call them out on it right away. Because you know what, if that's who they're going to be, you want to just stop that there, right then and there, and not go down that road. You know, really, it's heartache. You're choosing heartache. Women and men, we all know these red flags. You know, we've seen them. We either choose to continue to engage with them, knowing better, but we do it anyway because, you know, we want what we want. Fills a void for the time. We know, all right, I know I'll quit this one day. I know I'll quit this one day. But you know what? You know, I mean, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, shopping, addictions, whatever, in general, if there's a void in us, then we're going to look for that, seeking that instant gratification, pleasure.
So then the guy that was had for, so he has an addiction. Like he has there's something, I mean, having sex with 4 different women in a friends with benefits situation, like there's something he's seeking and trying to fill. Like I'm ultimately coming back to he is an unhealthy person. He was honest with you, but there's something about that dynamic that's unhealthy. I don't think that you as a healthy person can do all of that and be always honest, always acting in your best interest, always acting in everybody else's best interest. I just don't think you can do that.
You know, but he can't, I don't know. Again, I don't know. He could be being very honest and not having any kind of mask on, like, this is who I am. The thing that women tend to do sometimes is when we become emotional and attached because we've had sex, right? and now we're in our feelings because it was so great and wonderful, we're disregarding the fact that we know that he has 3 other women that he's sleeping with. Like, those women probably know, and they probably are just in it for the pleasure as well. But, I don't know. Everybody's got to figure that out for themselves. Because again, we're all dealing with our own baggage and our own divorces, and we're learning and healing as we grow. So, it's just a matter of, when you get sick and tired of your own behavior, then that's when you'll change it, no matter what it is in your life.
Agreed.
When you're finally ready to be honest with yourself about who you are and how you're presenting to the world, at that point is when you'll truly go inside and make that change and say, what, I'm done with that.
Yes.
I'm done with that. I don't need that in my life anymore.
Yep.
I realize now that, I wasn't as happy as I was with it. It seemed like it was great and grand. And again, this could be anything, regardless, sex, whatever. If you think that you needed that, it was filling a void. It's just, at some point when you're being honest with yourself, you realize that you need to make that change.
So final question for each one of you guys, answer it to your own opinions, experiences, whatever. So then talking about sex and then going outside of the dating realm, but then like back in marriages or back in a committed relationship. So what goes wrong with sex in general and committed relationships? So we're talking about sex mostly from the standpoint of maybe dating, maybe not, situationships, friends with benefits. What goes wrong with sex in committed relationships and not like all the things that can go wrong, but just like how does that get messy? You're committed, you love each other, and there's still like what goes wrong in those situations? Hypothetically, you don't have to speak personally. Start with Alicia. What would you say to that?
So I've been married twice.
Okay.
My first husband was older than me, and we just grew apart. There's nothing wrong with our sex life.
Okay.
My second husband, however, I felt like I was a paycheck and a piece of ass, and I didn't feel any.
Okay, just say that. Just rephrase that for the people that are still catching.
So
up
he
with what you
didn't
just
work
said.
hardly at all while we were together,
Gotcha.
and
okay.
didn't make any effort to change
Okay.
that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why I felt that way.
So when you say work, you're not talking about working in the bedroom. You're talking about like washing dishes at McDonald's. Like he didn't even do that.
Not even a job. Yeah,
not even a
exactly.
job.
Yeah.
So then basically, you felt like you were what to him again?
A paycheck and a piece of ass.
So you brought home money,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all.
And there was
coming together
no give from him. There was all take.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Not probably the best feeling. Okay, so, all right, Steven. So again, like sex in a committed relationship, marriage, things go wrong. Like what would you say to that? Why does it go wrong?
So what would be wrong with sex in a relationship? Probably routine. You're what makes sex exciting when you're first dating somebody? Well, it's new, it's fresh, and all that. Don't lose that. Even if you got to explore a little bit, I'm not trying to get weird or anything, but
There's websites.
you got to keep it exciting somehow. Otherwise, it's not exciting. It's like a movie
Like
that
where's
you've
Waldo,
watched.
and then you like.
Yeah, it's like, I've seen this movie. I know you've got 3 moves and you've already used them.
Right.
Or I need to wrap this up quick. So I would say any that's the main thing is just keep it fresh and you'd be all right.
Okay. So talk after the show about. Should I playbook figured out? What would you say, Drenda?
What was the question again?
I don't even know. I was just spitting out
I know,
crap.
I'm
Thinking about my
listening to
only-
Steven,
I
so
know,
I
What goes
completely
wrong?
forgot the question.
What goes wrong with
In a
relationships and
you love
sex?
this person.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're committed. It's been years with this person. What happens sometimes in those situations for it to not be all it's
Oh
cracked up to
goodness,
be?
there's so much to unpack there, Ben.
I know.
I agree.
In my personal experience, I feel like there's a lot of people in our boats. I know a lot of people that were married. They're divorced now. They were married for 20 years. I was married for 21.
Right.
Dated for 3 prior to marriage. So, you know, I think we're all in that stage where, yeah, you're right. We were, you know, we got married, we had kids, you know, the kids in the activities and life gets in the way. And, you know, again, bringing it back to communication within the partnership. You know, it's an equal give. You both have to communicate what your needs are.
Okay.
And sexually as well, obviously, with, you know, everything in the partnership, sex included. And when that communication breaks down, and when life gets in the way and you don't have proper conflict resolution, it deteriorates the relationship, which then in turn deteriorates the sex life between the couple. And
Right.
you know, I mean, it's normal, you know, but you know, I don't know. I mean, how do you? It's I didn't get it right. I failed.
Right.
You know, I failed, and so I'm working through that. And you know, that's what makes it scary to get into another, you know, relationship is knowing that I failed. You know, communication is key, and it didn't work. But you know, I think having that divorce under our belts and failed relationships, you know, again, we have to learn from our lessons and look at what we brought to the table, you know, because it wasn't just him. It was just as much 50-50, both of us.
Yeah.
You know, I can say he did, you know, but really, again, personal responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, I was just as much fault because, you know what, frankly, I didn't do better at, you know, helping to communicate openly.
Meeting his
honestly.
needs.
Yes. I
Meeting
mean,
his needs,
I got to the point where I was like, I don't know what you want. Fuck, I give up. You know. And then we just started living life in that mode of neither one of us know how to help resolve this conflict, so we'll just exist.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so sex fails in that scenario, in that relationship, well, because sex is needed. Sex, intimacy, having that connection with your partner is so important. So important in a healthy marriage, because I think that's going to be the glue that holds you together. You know, but you have to communicate what you need from your partner in order to have what you want. Make those compromises. It's a negotiation, right? And this is why relationships are work.
Yes.
You know, but
absolutely.
if you're with the proper person who has the same values and you've done your research, collected your data, now those open conversations are so much easier because you're with somebody you trust and you feel safe and secure with. And you can say, you know what, maybe I can't have that threesome. Damn it, wife, you know. Yeah, Jesus, I always wanted that threesome. You know what, that's her boundary and that's not going to happen. But you know what? You know, that's where if you love that person, you realize that, you know what, sometimes maybe fantasies are better left at fantasies. And you know what, because of my partner, this is important to her that I don't, you know, ask her for a threesome, you know, if that's your, whatever. I mean, it's just that open dialogue and that negotiation. Now, maybe sometimes they come to the negotiation and somebody says, you know what, I've changed and I'm completely different now. And I am not entertaining this. And, you know, so that's a whole different scenario. Sex could be an issue, you know, if somebody didn't come to the table originally like they, honestly, like they should have, and now they switch up, you know, that's a shocker, you know, that can happen.
I just think that.
And at that point, the relationship may not work out, you know, but sex-based, possibly.
Well, I mean, obviously things can change over time if you're talking about a long-term relationship, but I think sex is always a tricky topic to communicate on because it's so personal. So if one of the two people are wanting something out of it more than what's happening, her, him, whatever, that's a very vulnerable place to put yourself, because whatever they say, it's really not the best answer. I think if you have to have that conversation in a perfect ideal relationship world, there's something wrong. So you're saying that you're not doing this enough. You're saying that I need you to like, and yes, you have to have that communication, but with sex and the personal level of it, it's tricky. I mean, because
you know what though, but I think if you're in a partnership and you've done your due diligence and you're with your person who you can openly share, you can teach each other. It's through that partnership that, you know what, you explore each other's bodies and communicate what you like.
Well, I'm not speaking of it from that standpoint as much. I'm speaking of it more like you're in this, you know, you've been married for 20 years and one person is very like okay with limited sex, and one person would like to have more than whatever they're happening. So if whoever wants to have, and let's just say it's like not even about like getting off, just like intimacy, connection, all the good stuff that sex brings, and they want more of that. To put yourself out there that you want more than that is a very vulnerable place. So whatever they say, their answer has to be almost perfect, textbook perfect, or it's not going to feel right to the other person. Because whatever then happens after that feels like may feel like an obligation.
It's all on the presentation.
Which is difficult to pull off when it comes to sex, even in a relationship that's been going for years and years. Because one person has to you could say, come on girl,
But I mean, if you don't know your spouse's love languages by, then that's on you. You really need
Things
to
change.
learn your spouse's love language. And again, maybe it's not sex that's the issue or the love language. Maybe it's
I agree.
conflict resolution in the finances. That's the root cause.
Communication.
That's why I'm not being real warm and fuzzy with you and wanting to give it up.
Right.
You went and spent a whole shit ton of money and didn't say a word about it to me. So that's gonna cause a problem in the bedroom. I mean, there's more that goes into it than just, I need sex.
No, I agree with that, and that's a perfect point. I think that if generally relationship-wise everything is okay, and one of them would like to have more intimacy, more whatever, nights together, more sex, and she's like, he or she is like, I'm good with like once a month, like I'm good with twice a month, like I'm like, okay, whatever, like fine, like I'll do this. Like the way that question is answered and the way that question is asked can create a potential rift in that relationship. I mean, say back in the day they're having sex all the time, or say back in the day they don't even consider this an issue, but time, life, kids, and all of the things, menopause, all of these things affect these things.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, how you meet...
Erectile dysfunction.
Exactly.
I think that's a real thing. I don't know, but I think that, I don't know for sure. Whenever those commercials come on my radio when I'm working with my guys, we know to change it because it's like bad karma. Like,
Push it away.
no, like, pretend it doesn't exist, pretend it doesn't exist. But I mean...
That's right, medical
it's
issues. Medical issues.
Yeah, but it gets because sex is personal. Even if it's just about sex, it's still personal. So it's a very tricky field to navigate. Just, and
But again, so many people jump straight to it.
Right.
like just,
We're just going to jump straight to it.
yeah.
And then we're going to wonder why we got drama in our life.
Thank you.
Well, like even
You know what I mean? And then we wonder why we got drama in our life. But it's so tricky, and there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of vulnerability at play, and there's a lot of, I don't know, if I did good enough, or does he like me, but I don't even know this person, but we're going to jump straight into bed, and we're just going to go there.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why you got so much drama in your life. I mean, to me,
like,
we already know the consequence, but we're willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
well, like all good sex, things have to come to an end. So we probably need a segue to close up this episode.
Right. Did I go too far?
There's ups and downs. There's good moments or whatever. But at the end of the day, we have to end this climax to like a
No pun intended.
No pun intended. That's funny.
thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. It was almost as good as sex. I just need a cigarette right now. All was fine. But anyway, folks, I have nothing else to say because anything I say is probably wrong. So.
Oh no!
If-
Man, no.
I'm in that mood. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something. There's no pictures that come with this podcast. This is just purely conversation. So don't ask. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. You can reach out on Ben's website, www.benkeechshow.com, or on social media to chat. And please remember to subscribe so that you never miss an episode.